Breaking news comes from the NFL Super Bowl last night. As Auto Racing One reports, Cadillac shocked viewers by revealing their new Formula One entry. Formula One confirms this as the 11th team, which AutoWeek notes is the first expansion in a decade. The design is unlike anything previously seen on the grid. Road and Track reports the reveal happened during the fourth quarter of Super Bowl 38. As the Seattle Seahawks battled the New England Patriots on the field, a different kind of competition started on the screens. Rumors had circulated for months about exactly what the new Cadillac Formula One entry would look like. We knew they were coming, and we knew they fought hard against the existing 10 teams to get a spot on the 2026 grid. But until last night, nobody outside of General Motors and TWG Motorsports knew the visual identity of this team. The commercial spot itself was a lesson in American marketing. Instead of a typical high-octane racing montage, Cadillac stripped everything back. They played the audio of President John F. Kennedy's famous 1962 speech. Records from Rice University remind us this is where he declared, "We choose to go to the moon." As those famous words played out, the car formed from the shadows. This was not just a livery reveal, but a statement of intent. They are positioning this entry not just as a participation trophy, but as a national mission. Today, marked by time and date as Monday, February 9th, 2026, the motorsport world wakes up to a new reality. We have 11 teams. We have a massive American manufacturer backing a full works effort, even if they are using Ferrari engines for now. And we have a car that refuses to blend in. The paddock in Melbourne next month will look very different, and the reaction from fans and rivals alike has been instant and loud. This is the biggest shakeup to the Formula One grid since Haas joined in 2016, but the scale here is on a completely different level.
Let's look at the car itself, because this livery is bold. Cadillac has completely rejected the standard symmetrical design seen on every other car. When you look at the VF26 or the new Red Bull, the left side mirrors the right. Cadillac went a different route. The driver's left side of the car is predominantly white, with silver accents to represent clarity and optimism. But the right side flips to a stark, blinding black. Dan Torres, the CEO of the Cadillac F1 program, called this intentional in a press release issued immediately after the game. He described it as a representation of the duality of racing. The black side represents the grit, determination, and performance required in competition. On track, this will look disorienting for rivals and visually stunning for fans. Depending on which corner the car takes, it will look like two completely different machines. It creates a flickering effect on camera that grabs your eye instantly. We haven't seen an asymmetrical livery this prominent since the Bar Honda Zipper car of 1999, but this feels much more cohesive and modern. The choice of audio for the reveal spot is significant. By using JFK's moonshot speech, Cadillac draws a direct line between the space race and their Formula One entry. It sounds arrogant, but it fits the scale of the challenge. General Motors is effectively trying to do what many said was impossible: force their way into the exclusive club of Formula One against the wishes of the existing teams. The ad edited the speech to emphasize the line, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. That is the message they send to Toto Wolff, Laurent Mekies, and the rest of the paddock. They know they start on the back foot. They know 2026 is a reset year with new regulations, which gives them a fighting chance, but they remain rookies. Associating their brand with the Apollo program frames this as an American technological crusade. It tells the US audience, many of whom are new to F1, that this is their team. It is a smart psychological play to build a fan base before the car even turns a wheel in anger. If you find this breakdown of the Cadillac launch interesting, hit subscribe and the notification bell right now. We cover breaking F1 stories like this every single week. Now we return to the drivers. A pretty livery is useless without the hands to steer it, and Cadillac played it safe here. We now have official confirmation of the race seats: Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez. This lineup signals stability.
Both drivers were left without seats after the 2024 and 2025 shuffles, but they bring over 500 Grand Prix starts between them. Consider why Cadillac chose them. They didn't go for a rookie hotshot or an IndyCar crossover like Colton Herta for the race seat, although Herta is signed as a test driver. They need data. In a debut season, you need drivers who know exactly how a Formula One car should feel. Bottas knows how a championship-winning Mercedes operates. Perez knows the inner workings of the Red Bull machine. They can give feedback that a rookie simply cannot. Critics might say this lineup lacks raw qualifying pace compared to a Norris or a Verstappen, but for a new team, finishing races is the priority. Bottas and Perez are safe pairs of hands who can guide the engineers through the chaos of a debut season. It is a pragmatic, calculated decision. Although the badge says Cadillac, the heart of this machine for 2026 is Italian. The team confirmed they are running Ferrari customer power units for at least the first 2 seasons. This was a necessary compromise. General Motors is building their own engine, but that won't be ready until 2028 or 2029. This puts Cadillac in an interesting spot. They are a works team in name and chassis, but a customer team in propulsion. The 2026 engine regulations have increased the electrical power output significantly, making the hybrid system more complex than ever. By partnering with Ferrari, Cadillac eliminates one massive variable. They can trust that the power unit works, allowing them to focus entirely on the chassis and aerodynamics. It also creates a strange political dynamic, an American giant powered by its historic Italian rival. But if the Ferrari engine is competitive this year, Cadillac gets that benefit instantly. If the Ferrari engine struggles, as it sometimes has in new regulation eras, Cadillac goes down with the ship. It is a high-stakes marriage of convenience. The side of the car reveals just how much money is pouring into this project. The primary sponsor branding belongs to TWG AI, a tech giant that seems to be bankrolling a large chunk of the operation alongside GM. But looking closer at the nose cone reveals Tommy Hilfiger, a brand that has jumped ship from Mercedes, bringing their classic American cool to the new US team. We also see Jim Beam and IFS on the car, along with Claro. The Claro sponsorship is the Perez effect in action. Carlos Slim's telecommunications empire follows Checo wherever he goes, and that financial injection is massive. This is not a team struggling for budget. Unlike the early days of Haas or the doomed HRT and Caterham projects, Cadillac arrives with a war chest. They have the funding to develop aggressively throughout the season. The commercial appeal of an American team with a global luxury brand name is clearly working. They have secured major backing from partners like TWG and Claro, a strong start for team principal Graham Loudon. Cadillac didn't just stay on the TV screen. Moments after the commercial aired, a physical show car appeared in the middle of Times Square in New York City. A glass box that had been sitting there with a countdown timer for days finally went transparent to reveal the black and white machine to thousands of onlookers. Social media is flooded with videos of fans crowding around the display. This is the difference between a racing team and a global brand. Most teams launch in a pit lane or a factory. Cadillac launched in the media capital of the world during the biggest sporting event of the year. It forces the general public to pay attention to Formula One. Even people who don't know a DRS zone from a pit stop are seeing this car on their feeds today. It sets a new standard for how teams introduce themselves. It also puts immense pressure on them. You can't launch in Times Square and then qualify last in Melbourne without looking foolish. They have raised the stakes for themselves massively. We need to remember why this launch is happening now. The 2026 season marks the start of a new era for Formula One. The cars are smaller, lighter, and feature active aerodynamics to reduce drag on the straights. The engines are now 50% electric and run on 100% sustainable fuels. For a new team like Cadillac, this is the perfect time to join. If they had joined in 2025, they would have been years behind on the old rules. But in 2026, everyone starts from zero. The arrival of Cadillac changes the entire industry of Formula One. For years, the sport has been a closed shop of 10 teams, with existing owners refusing to dilute the prize money fund. Cadillac and General Motors have effectively kicked that door down, with a checkbook and a sledgehammer. Their presence forces every other team to step up their game, commercially and on the track. For the American market, this is the final piece of the puzzle. We have 3 U.S. races in Miami, Austin, and Las Vegas. Now we have a true American works team with a car that looks distinct and dangerous. If they can score points early, we could see F1 popularity in the States explode even further. But the risk is just as high. If Cadillac fails, if they run at the back like Haas has done for years, it could damage the brand's reputation permanently. Looking ahead, the next few weeks are key. The car flies to Bahrain for pre-season testing starting this Wednesday. That is when the marketing hype dies and the stopwatch takes over. We will see if that asymmetrical livery is fast or just flashy. We will see if the Ferrari engine integration holds up. And we will see if Bottas and Perez still have the fire to push a new team up the grid. This is no longer a rendering or a rumor. Cadillac is here, and the clock is ticking toward the first lights out in Melbourne. The mission has officially begun, and whether they finish first or last, Cadillac has already won the battle for attention. The public testing starts on the track in Bahrain. Thanks for watching our breakdown of the launch, and if you want more deep dives like this, hit subscribe.